Should you take kids to the museum? Of course, you should take kids to museums. Why wouldn't you? I know you were expecting probably, no, not kids in museums. Unless you have a kid, as I did. My number 3, love you so much, number 3. But for a certain period of his life, anytime we would tell him, don't touch, he would just, that's a no-go. Art is fragile. Kids are kids. They all have personalities. And if you need to draw the line, you have to draw the line. But if you think that your kids are going to behave, and even if they cry, even if they throw a tantrum, kids are not robots. I think all of us, is fair to say, were kids at a certain point. I do have a few thoughts on museum going with kids, if you want to stick around. If you have that sense of they must take it all in, or they must... I never had that attitude with mine. I mean, I did tell them this is a classic, this notion that, okay, this entered the canon. But as we all know, the canon changes. Things change, history changes. So the idea of the classic, it's always a very situated idea. It's also a very geographically specific idea. Things here that are, you have to know Lucian Freud. A lot of people go without in other countries. The further you go away from the UK or Anglo-Saxon culture, maybe, the less you talk about Lucian Freud, or not, or there's like a real interest somewhere at some point because there is an amazing Lucian Freud in a collection. So it's all about encounters. Encounters are really what you need to let happen when you go with kids to the museum. At a certain point, my kids only stopped to watch video. Whether you like it or not, moving image is the culture nowadays. Cinema even is kind of going. Now it's something else. Now, if you talk to teenagers, they know much more anime, oftentimes, than films. So just let them be the age they are. They're in a museum. That's already going to stick somehow. And when they have another relationship to life, another pace, another rhythm, other interests, wisdom and experience, they will go back to it in a different way. Another thing you can do with your kids is they sense passion. They sense when you really like something, because what I see around me is people saying, oh, this is what you should be looking at. And the shoulds with kids who are thankfully still rebellious, the ones where we haven't completely suppressed the rebelliousness out of them, the shoulds don't work very well. If you're talking in terms of rules about this, you have to know this in order to what? Pass your GCSEs? Certainly not. That doesn't work. But if there's a painting you love and you call them and you say, listen, you're at the National Gallery, look at this painting, this is incredible. Do you know what? The artist actually had started doing this, but then ended up choosing that. Whatever you know, or whatever you feel when you look at the painting. If you work for women's rights or in a women's shelter, for example, and there's a painting depicting sexual assault as if it was the most magnificent thing, because you see that a lot in museums. Look at what's written. Certain museums have already started adapting the texts to that kind of subject. They're aware of the fact that you shouldn't just present those images like that, especially when you know the mythology behind it. Zeus forced a lot of people into having sex with him. You can talk about your own job and measuring how society has changed in a positive way. We've conquered something. It's not stable, it's not a given, but society has moved in the right way, although some people are trying to take it back from us. If you think you're going to a museum based on 18th or 19th century art and not see things that talk about what matters to you now politically, socially, well, think again. They can be really amazing situations for you to talk to your kids about a lot of issues. And don't forget, subscribe, rate, like, follow Exhibitionistas. You can also subscribe to the newsletter. These little videos that you've just listened to just pop up on YouTube. They're a specific YouTube feature. Leave us a comment. Tell us whether you enjoyed listening to this little rant for children. Let us know if there's other themes that you'd like me to talk about. Don't forget, there's longer episodes. The last one is an art travelogue where you get to travel with me to Southend on Sea and experience a performance. So that's it. Respect yourself, respect others, and remember, we visit exhibitions so that you have to. Take care. Bye-bye.